All right, we are ready to introduce our drivers here. We start with our 15th driver. He is starting from the P15. He is driving for S-Works. He is ranked 15 overall from Arizona, Camden Lime.
And starting 14th on the grid, makes his way here from Texas, running for S-Works, Brandon Rose.
Moving up to the 13th spot, it is the Phenom Dakota Fan, driving for TLR by the bump up. He's starting 13th.
12th overall, you're coming from Michigan, your 12th place qualifier, Mr. Aiden Horn.
Starting in position in 11, he is one of our international drivers here, all the way from Italy, Riccardo Berton.
10th on the grid, representing Kyosho. He makes his way here from Ohio, Ryan Lutz.
Starting in position number 9, it is Joe Bornhorst making a trip here from Ohio, starting in P9.
Up next, we got 8th on the grid, Mr. Jared Wiggins. Up next, 8th on the grid, Mr. Jared Wiggins, representing Techno, hails from Illinois.
Starting in position number 7, another one of our international drivers here, driving for S-Works, starting in the 7th spot, Juan Carlos Canas.
6th place on the grid, hails from Iowa, racing for S-Works, Mason Fuller.
Moving up to the 5th spot, one of the favorites here, starting in P5, driver for Techno from Arizona, Ryan Mayfield.
Up next, 4th position, representing X-Ray all the way from Sweden, Mr. David Ronnefolk.
Your 3rd qualifier, youngest racer here from California, starting P3, Frankie Contreras Jr.
Starting 2nd on the grid, Team Associated's very own, all the way from Phoenix, Arizona, Mr. Spencer Rivkin.
And your top qualifier, making a trip here from across the pond, representing S-Works from the UK, it is Elliott Boots. And we are down and away. We are live here. 45-minute championship final. The best in the world having a throwdown here on LiveRC.com. The 25th running of the Dirt Nitro Challenge.
Boots leads the field down through the rumble strips and through our rhythm section. Working his way to the front here. He's got Rivkin in tow. Top 2 start to transfer or get away with Contreras now in that 3rd position.
An amazing job to be able to start on pole and earn the top qualifying position here at the Dirt Nitro Challenge. But S-Works driver Elliott Boots was able to do it. He's having a perfect start, keeping the field behind him. Elliott Boots coming around here to try to lead lap number 1 in this 45-minute final.
Boots now coming through the start-finish section. Checks in with an opening lap of a 47-1, bit quicker than Rivkin. Ronnefolk up to 3rd, Lutz from 10th to 4th, Fenn from 13th to 5th, Aiden Horn up to 6th from 12th, Lime from 15th to 7th.
One of the names we're normally talking about is Dakota Fenn. He had struggles in the qualifying. He had to come up from the last chance qualifier bump out of the B lower mains. He was able to take that win. He started 13th on the grid. He is all the way up to the 5 spot, trying to be a contender here in the final.
As we believe this is Ronnefolk. Well, this is Spencer and Boots here at the front. Boots leading the way. Rivkin just in tow there.
It is Boots out front. Ronnefolk now finds its way to the 2 spot. Rivkin goes 3. Dakota Fenn goes to the 4. Aiden Horn also from the back of the grid started P12 up to the 5 spot. So some big movers here for Fenn, Horn, Brandon Rose from 14 to the top 7 here in the first minute and 50 seconds into this 45-minute final. We're following Ronnefolk here into the big pit. On the step up he goes. He's got Spencer Rivkin right behind him. It's the X-Ray driven by David Ronnefolk from Sweden and the Associated Spencer Rivkin from Surprise, Arizona.
Ronnefolk leads Spencer through the backside section. Up and over the double they go. Hip jump looking clean as they downside through our start-finish area. Ronnefolk across the line with a 46-1. Rivkin with a 46-1 as well. Here comes Fenn, checked in with a 45-8, backs it up with a 46 flat. Oh no, check that 49.6 as Dakota drops down a couple spots. We stay with our 2nd place battle here, Ronnefolk and Rivkin.
Elliott Boots leading the way here. He's built up a 3-second lead. Doesn't sound like a lot, but at this level of racing, every race is about a 1/10 of a second. He's built up a 3-second lead to full field. Boots, Ronifolk, Rivkin, Bornhorst from the 9 to the 4. Then it's Fenn, followed by Juan Carlos Canas, Horn, Wiggins, Rose, Berton, followed by Camden Lime, Ryan Lutz, Ryan Mayfield, Frankie Contreras Jr., and Mason Fuller. Round out your 15-car field 3 minutes into this 45-minute final.
Boots across the line, 46-1. Ronifolk with a 45-7 starts to reel him in. Couple tenths here, couple tenths there. Next thing you know, he's knocking on the back door, but that's not going to do it. We see Ronifolk with a bobble there, kissing the pipe.
41:30 left on the race clock there. That small little mistake from Ronifolk going to give some more real estate to Boots. Going to allow Rivkin to close in. Joe Bornhorst right behind him. Bornhorst just doing his hot lap there. 45.8 seconds there for Joe. Behind him, Dakota Fenn. Again, Fenn started via the bump up from the B main. Started 13th on lap 1. Got up more than halfway through the field, sitting in P5.
Pick up our leader, Boots now. Works his way through that big air double. Around the 180 into our rhythm section. It's a double, double, double. Holiday 6-pack. Another 180. More doubles. It's a very tricky section at the top side here. It's a little crown at the top, and it unloads right as they're trying to put the power down. We drop back now to our 4th place runner, Dakota Fenn.
Dakota Fenn driving a TLR chassis. His well-known paint scheme here. The blue and the orange on yellow wheels. Dakota Fenn working here into the big pit. Behind him is going to be Juan Carlos Canas, followed by Joe Bornhorst and Rose as Ronifolk Rivkin trying to keep pace up front with Elliott Boots from the UK. 4 seconds with the lead.
Super impressive push here early on by Fenn as he's gone from 13th now to 4th, plus 9 positions in the first 5 minutes of the race. Against a field like that, that is no easy task. They did collect each other a little bit, and he got some gifts from the RC gods, but still had to pick his way through that carnage.
Fenn making up a second that time on Rivkin. Now the gap between him and 3rd spot in front of him, 3.6. You see Fenn coming here, going to be jumping into the pit right now. You'll see in front of him, you'll see Rivkin coming in and out of view, going into the chicane. You see Rivkin right there. Rivkin all the way out by the wall, using the wall right here. So is Dakota. Ooh. Oh, man. Getting it sideways there. Candywampus going in. We pick up back to the front. We pick up Boots coming into the 6-pack here. Takes the wide line. Try to make that first one is really tough. Gets your momentum, keeps your rhythm here. Coming onto the back section of the racetrack.
A little bit of a pothole there in the run-up to the double. Got him a little sideways, but somehow able to hold on. Boots pushing hard. Up and over. Lands that downside nice and smooth. Lots of traction to make the corner.
Boots, Ronifolk, and Rivkin, your top 3. Fenn still about 3.5 seconds back. Rivkin 2.9 back from Ronifolk. Ronifolk 6.1 behind Boots. So we got the 2 of the Europeans running 1-2. Elliott Boots from the UK. David Ronifolk from Sweden as Elliott Boots just throws down the fastest lap of the race there, 44.5 to stretch his lead to over 6 seconds as we follow Fenn around the racetrack here as he comes to the start-finish line. We'll check his lap time there across the stripe. This time by for Fenn. His fast lap, 45.1.
Fenn around the 180 into the rhythm section as we move back to Boots now. Boots up and over that double big air. You see him turn the wheels in the air to get the car to rotate on the landing. Smooth and easy here into our interlock section. It's a set of 90-degree corners that turn into a very treacherous S-turn. They drop down into the gravity cavity, up and out. Big air double, smooth and easy. They jump towards that outside pipe to get the line for the next corner, and up and over the hip jump. Boots
Some of the great parts here of this form of racing are the pit stops. Pit stops, a crucial part here, and they will have many in the form of these pit stops. About 7.5 minutes in, some guys will be able to stretch it a little bit longer, maybe go 8. We expect to see the first round coming up very soon, and it makes it a team effort. The pit guys got to be in sync with the drivers. They got to communicate, come in at the right time. A smooth in and a smooth out is crucial to be able to win the DNC.
Yeah, the pitman's kind of like a coach, too. They keep them apprised of all the information on the track, what pace they're running, where they're at in the field, and if they should drive faster or slower in a lot of situations.
It's Boots out front, followed by Ronifolk and Rivkin. 37.5 minutes. All right, the pit stops now. Our first one's in.
7:35 as he comes into the pits. Boots up, down, and away. Clean start.
Excellent pit stop there for your leader.
8-second lead gets him in and out of the pits, still maintaining. We see Ronifolk coming in. There's Rivkin just behind him. They are down and away. And it looked like that was Fenn going by the lane there.
There's Canas down in the way. Brandon Rose down in the way. Good pit stops going on. Most important for your leader, though, Smooth. His last lap, his in lap was a 44.5, his fast lap at a race. He takes a tight line through that section, sends it out by the pipe. Over that very difficult double, now to the back section. Pit stop so important. A miscue, a problem there can be devastating in their chance for the championship.
Oh, we got a flame out on the way out of the pits. I didn't catch who it was. I want to say maybe it was Horn, but I could be mistaken. He's still dead down there.
Trouble there. Sometimes they come in, have a problem. Maybe they're almost out of fuel. Engine may be running too hot. They fill a tank real quick. Sometimes it can flame out, lose the fire, and they got to take it back and restart it.
Dakota Fenn now moved himself in that 2 spot. I do not believe they have come into the pits yet. He's using track position to make passes by bypassing the pit lane. We do see if we go back a couple laps, he had a 47, but I do not think that's a pit lap.
35:50 to go. 45-minute championship final. Elliott Boots out front. Last time by 7.8 second lead as Dakota Fenn with pit stops now. Defend up to the 2 spot from 13th on the grid. An absolute brilliant start to this one for Dakota Fenn.
9 minutes, 30 seconds down. If they haven't pitted yet, they better pit soon. It's rough to get 10-minute run times out here. We see Dakota into that 2 spot. He was back behind these guys a couple seconds, so I got to think he's going a long run time here.
He is. He has not pitted yet. He's been 45, 46-second laps here. So Dakota getting some long run time, trying to get maybe one less pit stop. Pit strategy, run time, so crucial in these long finals. If you can run longer on a tank of fuel, you will. Go one less pit stop. That's faster on the racetrack and a better chance to stay up front. He is second right now. Let's see if Dakota's coming in.
And
he is staying out. Look at it. Doesn't look like he came. Looks like he might have just came in that last lap with a 50.5 possibly. 34.5 to go. It is Elliott Boots in control of this one. He's got a 9-second lead.
Fenn now on the back of Rivkin as we pick up our race leader, Boots. Elliott has a 9-second lead over Ronnefolk, 11 seconds over Rivkin. Boots coming down the hill up through our start-finish section. Checks in with one of his slower laps, a 46.8. Back to Fenn now as he's gotten by Rivkin.
All right, so David Ronnefolk is second. Now Dakota Fenn is going third. Third, 3.8 seconds behind Ronnefolk. Elliott, David, Dakota, Spencer, Juan Carlos, followed by Brandon Rose, your top 6.
Good look here at the Pit of Despair. Earlier in the week, very rough section. They went and did a speed grooming halfway through the day today and fixed a couple of very bad spots, so it was a little easier on these guys, but still a lot of very treacherous spots on the track that these guys need to look out for as they maneuver at a very high rate of speed. Drop back now to Fenn. He's doing the wall ride there. Tricky spot because from where the drivers are, they lose the car for about a half a second as they go through there. And Dakota talked to us about that after his B main and said, it's a tricky spot, but there's really not a lot of other places to put the car right now.
Fenn across the line, new fast lap for him, 44.9. Chipping away a few more tenths there on second spot, Ronnefolk.
Back to Boots now at the front. See him working to that high side there, smooth and easy. Boots, a very accomplished racer in his own right. He's been doing this for a very long time. And out here in control of this Dirt Nitro Challenge A final.
Brilliant drive so far here. The first 12 minutes, it is Boots in control across the line this time by 44.8. Last lap, this one 44.9. 7.3 seconds to the good of David Ronnefolk. Here's Ronnefolk across the line. His best lap, 44.8. 7.2 second lead right now for Elliott Boots over Ronnefolk. Fenn 4 seconds behind him. Juan Carlos 4.2 seconds behind Fenn. Now Rivkin goes to the 4 as Juan Carlos losing a couple seconds. He falls to 5th.
Dakota Fenn looking smooth and easy here. Last lap 45.1. Trying to improve on that. They need to stay down on those 44s if he wants to close this gap. Back to Boots now. the top side of the track. Up to our corner jump. Down the hill he goes over that roller. That one gets tricky as the race wears on. A little nose slap there. Boots across with a 45.8. Ronnefolk with a 44.8 last time by. This time by 44.9. So Ronnefolk got his head down.
Now traffic in front of our leader. Boots going to be coming up to some traffic here as we're following Fenn here into the six-pack. Nice double. Around the hairpin he goes. Coming on to the back section. Here's Fenn right now in third spot, 4+ seconds behind your leader, Elliott Boots.
We pick up the battle here between fourth place runner Spencer Rivkin. As we say, he rolls it off the track. Juan Carlos Canas Carrasco going to take over that fourth position now. Rivkin fighting back.
Elliott Boots still out front. We pick up Fenn here. Coming over to this tough double.
Ooh.
You can see him reaching.
That's a bobble.
Couldn't make it there. Now over the backside he goes. It's all about momentum in that double section, trying to get a run to it. See, he comes to the start-finish line. We'll check the gap between him and Ronnefolk right now. 6.3 seconds as Fenn loses 2 seconds that time on that lap to Ronnefolk.
Ronnefolk, we pick him up here as he enters that backside double. Gets it a little wrong, but saves it. See him sizing up some lap traffic here as they go through the pit of despair section. Jumps to the inside, comes out ahead.
David Ronnefolk, a world champion, making a trip here from Sweden. Multiple European champion titles. He is one of the best in the world. Loves coming here. He has won here at the DNC before. He's got a big hill to climb right now. Boots out front. Ronnefolk qualified fourth. Had a good start sitting in P2. 4.6 seconds behind your leader.
Ronnefolk, money on that downside. Comes through the doubles. A little wing or nose high there. Not where you want to be. Drop back here as we grab Dakota Fenn coming into that rhythm section. Same thing there. A little nose high on that entry, but not too shabby.
Dakota Fenn looking good in that orange and blue, yellow wheels. Rocking the TLR chassis. 30 minutes to go. We're 15 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun. 15 into this 45-minute file. It's Boots, Ronnefolk, Fenn, Canas, followed by Rivkin, your top five.
We should be due for another round of pit stops pretty quick here, well, with the exception of maybe Fenn, who goes about 9 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see when Fenn comes up. There's a pit lane. It's starting to happen now. Pit lane getting busy.
Ronnefolk checked the pit stops. I believe Boots did as well.
Traffic here for Fenn to seize part. And Ronnefolk coming out right behind Fenn.
Here goes Rivkin in and out of the pits. The green, I believe, that was Rose.
We're following Fenn here, coming out of the pit. Traffic in front of him. He's got third spot. David Ronnefolk right behind him. Remember, Fenn is not pitted yet. So Fenn's going to pit. He's going to give up that second spot to Ronnefolk. As traffic again. All right, they give room to the leaders. That's the way to do it. Good sportsmanship out there. Here comes Fenn. We stay with Fenn. Is he going to come in yet? Oh, no, he's staying out there. He's definitely going to go at least one less stop than the rest of the field. Fuel economy and mileage, very, very important. But Dakota's got to keep the rubber to the dirt. He is in front of third spot, Ronnefolk. Oh, Ronnefolk a little short there, but he saves it.
Ronnefolk's not been good through that double. We've seen a couple mistakes when we've been on him in that same area again and again, so going to have to clean that up.
The talent of these drivers is absolutely amazing. They're at the pinnacle of this sport. Paid professionals. They travel around the world to race at races in all four corners of the globe. The DNC is one of the big ones here. The World Championships coming up later this year in Brazil. These guys working hard. They're all going to be there for the title. This is the other title these guys want on their mantle, the Dirt Nitro Challenge. This is the 25th running of this event, and these guys are the best in the world.
Dakota's starting to gap out over Ronnefolk before his pit in. Fenn last time by 45.3, Ronnefolk 46.7, but Boots still the class of the field.
And Dakota gets it wrong. He cannot afford that. He just gives up that spot there to Ronnefolk. As Charlie just said, he was building up that gap. He would have been able to maybe come out back in front after the pit stop, but not going to happen now as Ronnefolk gets by. So we stay with Dakota, find out he should be coming in pretty soon for his fuel stop.
He should be doing about 18 minutes. He came in at 9 last time. We stick with our defend, the phenom they call him. should be coming in. No, he goes one more.
Psych.
He's
Boots
tricky.
still out front, 6.8 second lead.
I think, oh, that was the crash lap. So he had a crash lap that gave him a 54, allowed Ronifolk by. Still needs to pit. They're at the 18-minute mark. He's been doing 9 plus the lap, so should be coming in this time, but wouldn't be the first time I've been mistaken.
All right, got traffic right in front of Fenn. They give him room. See, Ronifolk not that far in front of him, but he is going to lose touch with him during the pit stop. But then, again, they're off a cycle here as Dakota Fenn able to run a little bit longer. Goes over that back double nicely that time. We're going to check here. We follow him. Let's see if he's going to peel off into the pit lane. Pit stop's the most exciting part of this racing. And Dakota Fenn is in. All right, he is up. A full tank of fuel down and away.
Looks like a crash on the way out. Pitman was not happy. Immediately dropped the headset to apologize for the bad toss.
Sontag on the gun there. We're going to see what the difference is this time by. So he was in just about at the 19-minute mark a few seconds earlier. So it's still Boots, though, out front. Boots. Now, this is a battle here. Boots had a 51-second lap. Didn't see what happened here, but this is the battle of the Europeans having a showdown. Throwdown here in California at the DNC.
Maybe Boots with a mistake, allowing Ronifolk to close him in. They pitted about the same time, so Ronifolk closing that gap, but Boots says, hold on a second. Let me collect my thoughts and start to check out again. Did a 45.6 to a 46.1. Ronifolk staying in contact, though.
The American style of racetrack are totally different from what these guys race in Europe. In Europe, they're very hard-packed, well-groomed, sometimes multi-surface with some bricks or some stone, things like that. They love coming here to race against the Americans on these big jumps, these big wide open tracks, up and down with elevation changes. It's a big challenge for the Europeans to come here, but these guys right now are showing they got the skills to pay the bills right now. Out front, Boots and Ronifolk sitting 1 and 2.
Boots starting to gap out just a little bit. He's continually going a little bit quicker than Ronifolk, and a couple tenths here, couple tenths there, turn into feet on the track.
Coming up on a little bit of traffic here. No doubt they're calling it. Oh, a whip there. Nice. Good save.
You'll see him as soon as the car starts to get wrong in the air, they'll immediately crank the wheel to try to correct it, apply a little throttle, use that gyro effect, get the attitude where they need it to be.
All right, Boots coming up here on traffic. Here, they go wide. Boots tries that inside line. He's been running that one most of the time. Most of the other guys taking a wide line.
The high side a little bit smoother than the bottom, but if you do the bottom at the right tempo, you got the advantage to the inside, and you can take that or keep those positions, if you will. But really risky. We've seen a lot of guys get down in there and have a really bad time in the lower main, so hopefully that works out for Boots. Coming through that rhythm section, the Holiday six-pack, up and around he goes.
Going to be coming up here on Ryan Lutz in a little bit. Ryan Lutz sitting back in the 10 spot right now. We are 21 complete, 24 to go in this 45-minute final. It's Boots, Ronifolk, Fenn, Canas, and Brandon Rose from 14 up to the top 5.
Get some, Brandon. Going back down the line here on Fenn's lap times, you see he had a 50 and then a 53. The outlap was the 53, so they had a wreck on the exit of pit lane that cost them some time. Fenn about 12 seconds off the back of our leader and not able to make up more than a tenth or two here and there. So Boots on a mission right now, not leaving anything out.
That mistake that Fenn had maybe 4 or 5 laps ago, it's going to prove to be very, very costly. You lose about 5-ish seconds on a pit stop. With him being able to go longer on run time, he's going to have one less stop. But that 5-second crash may cost him a great bit.
Something we've seen that comes true here in the pro division, you cannot count on mistakes from our leaders. When these guys get out front, they get into a whole new zone. It's like a switch, and the mistakes go away. They get very consistent. They calm down. They start putting on the moves.
It may look easy when you guys are watching this here, but the skill of these drivers, and as difficult as this racetrack is, with all the ruts and the bumps that have just grown through the laps, thousands and thousands of laps have been turned on this racetrack here this weekend. So it makes it a huge challenge for these guys. And in this long race, new ruts, new bumps, they appear, and they have to learn to drive around them there to be able to keep the wheels to the dirt.
Boots just turned in a new hot lap on the field. 44.5 that last time across the stripe.
Elliott Boots driving the S-Works car, making a trip here from the United Kingdom. out front. TQ in here. As I said, they love coming here racing against the Americans on these very difficult and big high elevation and big jumps, something they rarely see in Europe. They love it, and he's showing that he can absolutely get it done. He's in for fuel. Our leader is in at the 23-minute mark. And a good start there from the S-Works team. And they come up right behind traffic. The outlap's so important. Oh, no. And he's waiting for him. Very nice sportsmanship. I think that was Lutz.
One of the trickiest spots to pass traffic is that rhythm section. Can get it wrong real easy, get into some traffic there, and it's kind of a catastrophe because there's not a lot of marshal positions down towards the center of it.
It is Elliott Boots coming in and out of the pit right now. He's got a 4.7-second lead. Last time by. Things are going to change a little bit here again. Pit stops, changes everything. Oh, we got a flame out in the back. Somebody. Elliott going wide. They check up behind him. Somebody ran out of fuel or something in the back. Couldn't see who it was.
Boots now through the start-finish gate, coming across the line. Going to hold on to the lead. He was able to do the pit stop and maintain that. Ronafol came in right behind him.
It's a 3-second gap right now. That time by between Boots and Ronafol. Could have been Heckert with the flame.
And Heckert's weekend getting tougher and tougher. That's not Heckert's car, though. That is...
it looks like...
Karak.
It could have been Ricardo Berton.
Is it Juan Carlos?
20:30 to go. 20 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
It was Berton.
Elliott. Followed by Ronafol, Fenn, and Juan Carlos Canas. Brandon Rose still round out your top 5. 3-second gap between Boots and Ronafol.
Little dicey there coming down the hill. Last lap for Boots on the pit lap of 52, this time by a 45.9. Contreras into the pits. Tough break there for Frankie Fingers. Started third overall. The youngster, I think he's like 14 years old out here with the pros.
He is doing a very good job qualifying for the championship final here, being a very youngster. Big future for that young driver. We got 20 minutes to go here. 25 in the books already. It's Boots out front, 2.8-second lead. See Ronafol there coming into the chicane. That's Ronafol we pick up right there. It is not that far of a gap between Boots and Ronafol. Fenn now, 1.7. There is the orange and blue Dakota Fenn in this fight.
Dakota Fenn back in the mix now as he applies the pressure on the back of Ronafol. Fenn has another pit stop coming up, but it's not due for probably another 2 minutes. So Ronafol hoping he peels into the pit so he can stop dealing with this. But bobble there. Small mistake turns into several seconds of loss as Fenn getting into that rhythm section, hooked a pipe and went into the wrong lane.
Elliott Boots absolutely locked down out front, leading away. 19 minutes on the clock here. 45 minutes. It is absolutely a grueling battle for these guys. It is cold up there on the driver's stand, a bit of wind. But these treacherous conditions on this racetrack, the track continues to erode through the course of this long final. Boots across the line that time by a 46.0. We'll check the gap to Ronafol. Here comes David Ronafol across the line. It is 4.3 seconds a gap. Then Fenn behind him, followed by Canas and Rose.
See Fenn suffering the price there. 48.7 that lap after that bit of a bobble as he finds himself now working with some traffic, clean through. And Fenn out of that backside section. We back with Boots. Works right through the pit of despair. Coming around here to the interlock, dropping down to the gravity cavity. Nice inside line there still. I think he's smoothing it out for himself.
One of the favorites going into this event started P5, Ryan Mayfield. He had a tough start, and things have not gone his way. He has not been able to climb up the ladder. He is a 17, now 18-time champion this weekend as he won the truck division. And now he's sitting back here in the 10th spot. He is the greatest champion in the history of the DNC. But this one not going his way as he is circulating right now in the 10th spot.
It looked like that was Fenn with a wreck as Mayfield went by, but maybe not.
17 and a half minutes to go. It is Elliott Boots out front. 5.4 seconds is the gap. He was able to pull a little bit away from David Ronafol over the last lap. 44 lap to David's 46 lap. So there's 2 seconds to the good. It is Boots out front. Down the line, rocking the S-Works chassis in front. That time by 44.6. Let's see what Ronafalk's got this time by. Ronafalk across the line, 46-2, so 2 more seconds to the good for Boots. Absolutely putting the hammer down, trying to pull away from Ronafalk.
Boots in a class of his own right now. 44s like it's an easy thing to do. Everybody else struggling to get into the 45s. Elliott Boots pushing very hard here. Wants to make that long flight worth the trip and bring home the big trophy.
See him taking that tight line. The previous, they used to go all the way out, but it's rutted up so much. Now it's nice and smooth to the inside. We see a lot of the other ones starting to copy that line as we stay with Boots across the start-finish line now. 16 and a half minutes to go, a 45-5. It's a 7.1 second lead for Boots.
That was another thing that Dakota shared with us in his B-main interview, is that get a lot of information from the pit lane about where the other guys are driving to see what the lapse times are. They'll tell them certain sections they should try something different, and that can really change the game here. 16 minutes still left to go in this one. Dakota Fenn trying to mount a charge to reel in our top 2. Ronafalk doing everything he can to stay in contact with our leader. Boots now to that inside line. Drop back as we find, I believe this is Ronafalk. Up and over the roller he goes. Ronafalk hipping and hopping there. Last time by for Ronafalk, a bit better, 45-5, but Boots still beat him with a 45-2. So even when he does great, Boots does a little greater.
It is a 15 minute and 30 seconds left here in our championship final. It's Boots out front. Ronafalk, Fenn, Canas, Rivkin, Rose, Bornhorst, followed by Lutz, Lime, Fuller, Mayfield, Wiggins, Contreras, Berton, and Horn.
There it is again. Ronafalk not having any luck with that backside double. One more mistake there, maybe the biggest one. He does a little cheetah flip.
Oh, man, tough luck there. That's going to give Elliott Boots more real estate between him and the field.
Boots there, coming through the backside section, over the corner table. Start-finish area goes. Last time by 44-6, this time by 45-0.
It's Boots out front now, 30 minutes down, 15 to go. And we go back a lap with that wreck from Ronafalk. His lap, 47-4. Now we're going to see how far back Fenn is. Dakota Fenn, this time by 5.9 seconds.
You go back 2 laps, you see Fenn at a 51-6, maybe the pit lap. That would have been about the time when they were due at the 27-minute mark.
If things play out, Dakota should have one less pit. Well, we're going to see. We got 14:30 to go. It is still Boots out front, leading away, a 9.7 second lead. Here comes Boots to the start-finish line. Across the start-finish line he goes. And it looks like he's in. Boots is in for fuel. With 14 minutes to go, a nice safe pit. A look from the mechanic. Boots nice and smooth out, not pushing it.
Pits in, pits out, maintains the lead. That's what a 9-second gap will do for you.
Dakota Fenn, that time by 7 seconds behind Ronafalk. We're at 14 minutes to go.
Boots coming down the hill, up and over the roller, down into the pit of despair. Medium high side there. Flatlands at the top, coming up just a touch short, but didn't cost him much. Boots in lap was a 46.3, I believe. This will be his out lap after the pit stop.
We'll check it here. A little wheelie there going over the backside. So he comes to the start-finish line. Boots with his pit stop. This time by 51.6. We're going to check with Ronafalk. Ronafalk this time by. I think Ronafalk also came in. They're pretty much on the same pit strategy.
Yeah.
Ronafalk waiting across the line. That time by 51.4, so almost identical. Outlaps there. The gap 9.1 seconds with 13 minutes to go. We follow Ronafalk here in the X-ray. Making a trip here with his father, Pierre, from Sweden.
Ronafalk looking good right now. Over that roller, jumping down to the pit of despair. Next in line behind him, I believe that is Dakota making some waves there. 1.9 off the back of Ronafalk.
It is Dakota behind him. Boots, Ronafalk, Fenn, Juan Carlos Canas, Spencer Rivkin, your top 5.
Ronafalk got up on the pipe in the cross turn there. Looked like he was in a wreck, but RC gods were smiling upon him.
And there is Ronafalk just throwing down his hot lap. 44.5. It's an 8.6 second gap between him and your leader, Elliott Boots. And there is Mr. Boots. Boots coming into the pit right now. Going to be having a little bit of traffic in front of him. And it's scary. These guys know what to do. But if traffic gets a little bit sideways, anything can happen. With 12 now on the race clock, 12 minutes to go.
Well, Boots coming up a little short again. And you see even the most dominant driver on the track still has some tricky sections where he's almost having some pretty terrible wrecks, but just getting past the wreck point. Boots at the front, lap time by 45.2. Ronifolk just did his hot lap 1 ago with a 44.5. Comes in this time with a 45 flat, making up a couple tenths.
11 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Here we follow Ronifolk. Around the left side hairpin here. Coming up, that's been his Achilles heel on this racetrack, that section. This cost him a couple wrecks so far. 8.4 back from Boots.
Pick up Boots now as he works the right side of the track. Up and over that big double. Smooth and easy that time. Collecting his thoughts, hitting his marks now. Car looking a lot more in control than it did the previous lap.
That time by for Elliott was a 45.7.
Oh.
A little over 8-second lead as he comes into the six-pack. Across the start-finish line. We got Ronifolk there. Ronifolk across the line, 7.5. Ronifolk making up a second that lap on Elliott Boots. And you see Fenn now through the six-pack behind Ronifolk.
Top three starting to get away from the field. You see a 23-second lead from Boots down to Juan Carlos in the fourth spot.
10.5 minutes to go in this 45-minute final. We got Boots, Ronifolk, Fenn, Canas, followed by Rivkin, then Joe Bornarth, followed by Rose. Then it's going to be Lutz.
Big bobble there by Boots. Goes for the wild ride coming down the corner jump, but able to hold on. We don't see Ronifolk that close.
48.4. That cost him 3 seconds. 4.3 is the gap now. That is going to inspire Ronifolk, no doubt. Pierre, his dad, is on the headset communicating with his driver, telling him just what happened. This is going to relight the fire under Ronifolk. Boots, now we are at the 10-minute mark. We got 10 minutes to go. It is Elliott Boots out front leading the way. More traffic in his future. It was a 4.3-second lead last time by. Elliott, no doubt, has to reset. Refocus here down the front straight. Going to be coming up on fourth spot, Rivkin. So Elliott Boots looking to lap up to fourth spot. Into the six-pack they go. Rivkin, great sport, gives him lots of room. Here is Ronifolk in the six-pack. Last time by was 4.3 seconds.
Ronifolk pushing hard there, cleans his Achilles heel section. That backside double has been giving him trouble. Boots kisses the pipe. Oh, very lucky there. Lands on the inside pipe. Flirting with disaster here with just 9 minutes remaining in this 45-minute final. One more pit stop for Boots. Fenn probably thinking about his final pit stop as well. Ronifolk will probably be in right behind Boots, and that'll be the tail of the tape. Pit stop strategy for the Fenn team is going to come to fruition.
8:45 left to go. It is Boots with a 4-second lead right now. We pick up Ronifolk through the six-pack. Double. Slides it around. Here, stretches. Saves it there on that big double. Almost in the same frame now. You see Boots going into the pit and out of the pit. There he is. You're going to see Ronifolk coming into the top of the frame here. He has 4 seconds back. There's Ronifolk at the top of your screen in a green and yellow. Traffic again in front of your leader. We are coming up on the 8-minute mark here. The final round of pit stops soon to be. Here comes Elliott. Elliott going to stay out. We crossed the line there with a 44.8. Let's see what Ronifolk's got this time by a 45.6, a 4.8 gap now with 8 minutes to go.
Boots trying to stretch back out. He was up to 9 seconds. A bobble brought him back to within 4.
So Fenn just come in for his final stop.
7 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in this one. Boots leading the way right now.
It's going to come down to this final pit stop, very possibly here on the mechanics. We're at 7:25. We follow Boots. Let's see if he's going to peel out and come in for his last stop.
Yep. Nope.
No, he's staying out there. Where's Ronifolk? That time by 45.4. Here's Ronafalk. Ronafalk staying out. 7:10 left on the clock. 45-4 to Ronafalk. 46-2. 5.5. Elliott now trying to put the hammer down and pull away.
Ronafalk here through the double. Back to Boots. He works his way into the pit of despair. Up and over nice and clean. Little medium high side. Gets out by the pipe. Cleans that down. Our interlock area.
All right. Now we got to look at Dakota Fenn. He's made his last stop. He is 6 seconds back from Ronafalk. Ronafalk, you normally lose about 5 seconds or so in the fuel stop, so it's going to be very close. We stay with Boots. Let's see what Boots going to do. And Boots is in for his final stop. Smoothing in. The car is up on the block. The tank is full. Down and away. Here's Ronafalk coming in. Ronafalk in the pits. Down and away. Where he is. Here he is. Where is Dakota Fenn? Dakota Fenn behind him. Dakota Fenn right behind him. It's Boots with a perfect last stop. Here's Ronafalk. Oh! Now you think of the 3 crashes that Dakota Fenn had. With the pit strategy, he would have been in front of Ronafalk. But that wreck now puts him in third, and now it's a race to the end with 6 minutes to go. It's Boots, Ronafalk, Fenn, Rivkin, and Joel Bornhorst.
Fenn pushing so hard, maybe a little crack under the pressure there as he knew it was all coming down to this last couple minutes. And gonna have a long road to hoe now as Ronafalk maybe collecting his thoughts, knows that he's got enough gap to hold on to second, might just salvage that and settle for second. Boots has been on a mission. His outlap that time of 51.7. Ronafalk's outlap of 51.0.
It is Boots' last time by 4.2 seconds. Here comes Ronafalk. Ronafalk pushing here through the 6-pack. Boots, Ronafalk, 4.2 is the gap. We got 5 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. Boots in control of this one. Led this one from the start. We pick up Boots. He's going to take a tight line here. Avoids the big ruts. You see Ronafalk there at the top of the screen. Green and yellow with the black wing. There's Boots coming into the backside. He is going to hit the line here with 5 minutes to go. 40 minutes complete in this championship final. Elliott Boots out front from the UK. Second spot is David Ronafalk from Sweden, followed by U.S. driver Dakota Fenn, Spencer Rivkin, and Joel Bornhorst, your top 5.
Fenn now reeling up on the back of Ronafalk as he puts pressure through the rhythm section. Ronafalk with a bunch of clean laps. Fenn coming back. I think he's just out of the pits with his 49-second lap there.
It is Boots in control, 5.5. We pick up Boots coming into the chicane here. Going to take it nice and tight, slow and steady. Down the off-camber hill. Coming up, squaring for this double. This is a tough one. You see him slap it on the top there. Boots now more traffic. They hit the brake. He flies right by. Coming across the start-finish line. Boots across the stripe this time by 45.4. We're going to see the gap to Ronafalk this time by. Ronafalk across the line this time by 45.6. It's a 5.7 second lead. We pick up Ronafalk here in the 6-pack. Double, and eight seconds of gap. There's Boots wing high over that backside double. We got 2:45 to go.
Boots coming across start-finish line last time by 46.3. He backs it down a notch, I think, just on cruise control. 46 flat that time by. Trying to not make any mistakes. We've seen how costly that can be. Ronafalk working his way to the rhythm section. He comes up to that oh-so-tricky upside double. Comes up just a little short, but not nearly as bad as it's been.
2:15 to go in this one. Boots a 5.5 second lead to C's part here for Runafalk. We stay with Boots. Boots has to keep his focus here. We're going to be coming up on the 2-minute mark. Hard to believe we've been racing for 43 minutes and the gap is 5.5 seconds.
Runafalk trying to make something happen here. Boots just trying to keep it clean. He's backed it down a little bit, now back into the 45s, but Runafalk last lap was a 44.9. Runafalk across this time by 45.3, slightly quicker than Boots still. 145 remaining, just a handful of laps. Big bobble there.
Oh no! Where is Dakota Fenn?
That's not Dakota.
We're looking for the blue and orange. He is a ways back, so Runafalk dodging a little bit of a bullet, giving more gap here to Elliott Boots. We got a $1:30 to go, 1:30 left on the race clock here in our championship final. It's Elliott Boots, David Runafalk, Dakota Fenn, Rivkin shows his way back to the 4, followed by Bornhorst, Rose, Lutz, and Lime round out your top 8.
You can see Runafalk here with, we're back to Boots now as we get to the top side section. Boots across the line with a 46.4 still. Taking it nice and easy out there, just trying to do clean laps and keep it between the pipes. Runafalk late to the line. He did a 44.5 last time by. Here comes him and Dakota. Runafalk with a 50.2, Fend with a 45.5.
We got 45 seconds ago, about a lap and a half left for Elliott Boots. Elliott Boots coming out of the pit to the step up nicely. We're at 38 seconds to go. His lead last time by 9.3 seconds. That is the biggest margin it's been.
Up and over that center side double. Boots pushing hard now. Biggest lead he's had all race long. Likes the sound of that. Comes across the line for the second to last time. Boots now out on final lap.
We are 19 seconds ago. Elliott Boots out front. He has worked so hard this weekend. One of the hardest things to do in qualifying is earn the pole position. He did it with some brilliant driving. The next hardest thing to do is convert that top qualifying spot into a win here at the Dirt Nitro Challenge. A 9-second lead last time by. A half a lap left for the S-Works driver from the UK. An absolute brilliant drive here from Elliott Boots. Can he bring it home in the final 2 corners? Up to the backside double he goes. He's got one more corner to go and one more decision to make. Is it going to be paper or plastic? Because this one's in the bag. Elliott Boots, your DNC champion.
Congratulations to Elliott Boots. High fives and hugs all across the driver's stand. Boots with the stick radio there. That's UK style. Great charge there from Dakota Fend to go from 13th to 3rd, plus 10 positions for the Phenom. Great drive there by Runafalk to finish 2nd. Boots was on a mission in kind of a space of his own there on lap times. Rivkin qualified 2nd, did not get the start he needed, dropped himself down to 4th. Bornhorst from 9th to 5th. Brandon Rose with an amazing drive from 14th to 6th.
Good job, buddy. Be proud.
Ryan Lutz from 10th on the grid to 7th. Fuller going from 6th down to 8th. Camden Lime with a great run, 15th to 9th. Mayfield, not the run he was looking for, 5th to 10th. Wiggins, 8th qualifier, finished 11th. Berton going to finish in that 12th spot. Frankie Fingers in the 13th spot. Aiden Horn in the 14th. And Juan Carlos Canas Carrasco with some bad luck coming out early. Scotty is up in the driver's stand, going to get some words with our winners. As we're going to head it up to Scotty on the driver's stand. Scotty, take it away.
All right, we got all kinds of hugs and high fives up here. Elliott Boots, 45-minute drive, near perfect, absolutely brilliant job.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty tough, 45 minutes on that track. It was, for me, when I walked the track, the make or break was the bowl section. You had to get the right line through there. So I changed it up and it kind of worked out for me. So, but I see David, he was keeping me honest the whole race. I couldn't relax because we was kind of cat and mouse. He would gain on me, then I would pull away a bit. So I just made sure we stayed clean. Maybe I wasn't the fastest car on the track, but we just stayed consistent to the end.
Absolutely, you were very consistent, especially in your pit in and pit out laps. You made sure it was very, very smooth. That's so important. And you mentioned changing that line going into that pit after you started doing. Other guys started doing the same thing.
Yeah, I started going like normally we would ride the berm on the way out, but I did the track walk before. Even that looked pretty crazy. And from up here, you lose your car. So I thought I'd mix it up and go inside then out, and it worked out well.
You've been doing this a lot. You've won a lot of races. How does this one rate in everything that you've won in your career?
I mean, yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, I haven't won this one. I got a second once, so yeah, it's great. We got Silver State and now we got a DNC. Let's go.
You got a lot of people you want to thank. Give some shout outs to who you want to thank.
Yeah, I mean, Luigi, Marco, the whole S-Works guys, the Reds guys, they support me great. Nicola that's here, looking after us with tyres. The tyres were hooked up the whole race. Engine was sweet. I could come out of this corner and clear that double like an electric car, which helped a lot. And everyone that supports me. My fiance at home, she might be asleep, I don't know. Hopefully she's awake, she'll see that. My little girl, I love you both, and yeah, everyone that's hopefully watching and supports me, I appreciate it. All my sponsors, and to you guys for doing this, making it possible.
Absolutely. These are the guys behind you here. They got big hugs. Absolutely. The 25th anniversary, and Elliott Boots' name goes on the trophy. Well done. Absolutely. Congratulations.
That's what I love to hear. I love that. Congratulations.
You can see the emotion. These guys, Joey and Aaron here, celebrating. Good to have Elliott here. Well done. All right, we're going to get David Ronafolk over here. David.
Way to go, Vikings.
All right, David, well done. That's a grueling 45 minutes, man. You went toe-to-toe with Elliott. Take us through that run.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, impressive there by Elliott. Got to give it up for him. Super good drive. I tried many laps just to push a little bit more, but the track would bite you immediately. He gave up like a couple of seconds there with 10 minutes or so to go, and I thought I could, make 2-3 push laps, try to close in a bit more to put even more pressure on him, but no, he stayed super consistent out there, and it was really a battle out there. My car was working amazingly well. Learned a lot from last night. It wasn't that good in the e-buggy main, so we learned a lot, and that we brought with us here for this main tonight. And car was amazing. Tires worked really well. The hot race super softs, and of course Corsa engines. Same pitted strategy. So, I mean, we were right there, 5 seconds apart the whole race, more or less, 5 to 10, let's say. So, I'm super proud anyway. Like, this is my second race with the X-Ray. I haven't been able to do a lot of testing, so I've been kind of relying on what the other guys have knowledge in the past, let's say, and I'm looking forward to be able to start driving outdoors at home so I can get even more track time, because I see there's a lot of potential in the car and the package right now, so hopefully we can keep on working for the big one in September. But I'm super pleased with second. I fought hard and got to get it up for Elliott again. Super impressive drive there.
Well, you did absolutely well. You want to give some shout outs, some thanks for the support that you get.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would like to thank the whole X-Ray team, Bayer, the Hoodie family, everyone for, making me feel welcome and supporting me with everything I needed here the first couple of months. Then, of course, coming here, the U.S. team, Paul Ciccarello especially. He also rented his e-truck here for this race for me. So thanks to all of those guys in the X-Ray pits over there this weekend, and everyone watching at home. I know I have a lot of supporters over in Europe, especially Sweden. So thank you all for watching late nights and cheering me on. So thank you all, my family, girlfriend, everyone at home.
Absolutely. And finally, you got to thank Dad down in the pits, huh? He was on it. He did a great job.
For sure. Him and Paul, they were on it. I don't think we definitely didn't lose any time in the pits. So what we lost was on track, and that was, it happened. It happened for everyone, and I wasn't able to close it in, but, I'm going to take a second here today, any day, considering how yesterday went, and I'm really happy with that.
Well, congratulations. Job well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. We're going to get Dakota. All right, Dakota Fenn. This guy, he had one heck of a day. Man, it was a hell of a hill to climb, but you were able to do it, bumping out of the B main, starting 13th. Man, take us through that run.
Yeah, it was definitely not starting where we wanted to. I knew kind of going into this main it was going to be a little bit of a crapshoot there in the start. I was fortunate, there was a couple pileups and I had enough time to be able to rack and made the right decision. Was able to get around. I think kind of moved up to somewhere like mid-pack after the first lap, and then I kind of just picked a few guys off and was able to get into the top 5 there pretty early on within the first few laps. I had lost a lot of time already. Elliott came out of the gate swinging. He was going really fast and then just stayed super consistent the whole time. I got close to David a couple times, but yeah, he's same thing. He had a lot of speed, and this track, man, it bites you. You saw the same thing last time in Truggy. You try to push those couple tenths, and that risk level just goes up a ton. So had a few bobbles, but considering where we came from, it was ended up pretty decent.
Take us through your pit strategy. Obviously, you went longer than the other guys. Tell us about your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's been an amazing program working with Ultimate Nitrolux. Ever since I switched, I've been able to do the longer stops, and I knew I was definitely going to need that coming to the main, and it got me a little bit closer. Unfortunately, it didn't really pay off, but it does a lot of the time, so I'll take it, and we'll keep on charging.
Well, you did a hell of a job this weekend. Give some shout-outs to the guys you want to thank.
Yeah, man, thanks to the whole team at TLR. We've been working hard all weekend. Mike and Chloe in the pits all weekend long, making sure I had the pit stops, making me sure I know what the fuel is and stuff. Kind of have to throttle drive to get that fuel mileage, so kind of adjusting for that. Thanks to J Concepts, Jason and Paul have awesome support. Ultimate Nitrolux, like I said, Nitro Pro servers, Pro Performance, and just everyone else for the support. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, tremendous weekend. Congratulations.
Cool. Thank you.
Dakota Fenn, he worked so hard. Got it up to 3 from the bump up. You got to take that. And just great emotion from these drivers. They have the European drivers come here, take 1-2. That is amazing. And just a brilliant drive from Elliott Boots. Just a brilliant drive. Patience, methodical, and he pulled it off. Great job. Throw it back to you, Charlie, in the studio.